Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 30-minute special. I have an amazing guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Sylas Szabolcs. I'm a actor, writer, comedian. Some of those I dabble, but professionally an actor, waiter, all around. Just I guess
Creative extraordinaire.
Thanks.
I'd actually like to take a sign out. That might have been the first time I've ever done an intro without accidentally call it the content crew. Instead of calling it, I usually name it my old podcast that I used to do. So this might be the first time I've actually managed to get away without doing it. So, pat on the back for me.
Oh, look at you. You growing as a person.
Yeah. I think this is crazy. Obviously, I studied television production. Everyone knows that. And this is, I believe, the first time I've ever had an actor on.
An actor.
Yeah, actor.
Okay.
And he is an actor. You on the BBC show, right? I still remember.
Yes, I've done BBC Scotland back in 2019. I did Guilt. Look at me, I'm going to list all my credits now.
Go for
I've
it.
done BBC One Baptiste season 2 that came out this past year.
That is insane. I actually
It is a little bit.
acting. It is actually. I have so much respect for actors. I don't think I could not do it. Like my I just get too nervous. Even with like the whole background, like I do a bit of background just for extra money, and I still kind of freak out doing that.
I mean, yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge because you're aware of the camera, but you have to treat it like it's not there. But at the same time, you're doing, podcasting. You got a camera there, you're having a chat. What's the big difference? The only thing is, I've got the words memorized when I have to talk to people. But
True. I guess that is one way to see it, but you know what? The thing that messes it up is when you find out like how much it costs to do a take, and like if you mess it up, how much money you're like.
yeah, but like, I mean, true. Those are like some expensive mistakes, but
Yeah. Also, a
Just comes with the territory.
big shout out with that whole acting and all that. Like, how would you like describe the difficulties of trying to break out into the acting field?
I mean, I guess it really depends. Not that it really depends, but there's an element of where you come from, what the industry can do with you. The industry is its own animal, very much so, and it will pick and choose whoever they want and whoever they think they can get the most money out of. Because the weird thing is, obviously, you got the acting, which is the art, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're artists and we're expressing ourselves and we're creatives." And then, and there's very much a business. The people that fund the money, they want a return on their investment. There's a box office they want to hit. So it's there's two butting heads, as it were. It seems like it almost, where you can have the brightest upcoming artist, but you need that little bit of something extra to make a little bit of money out of him. Do you know what I mean? So, I think the difficulty is figuring out where you fit in this, and first of all, or I think the easiest thing, which a lot of us are doing now, which is kind of doing your own thing, building up your own audience, and then that way you already have your own income coming in. And every now and again, the industry goes, "Let me see what's out there, what's happening," and they see, "Oh, now you've got buzz, now you've got he's got a following or she's got a following," and then they're like, "Well, let's work with them." As we mentioned this before the podcast started, there's TikTokers doing films now.
Yeah. Social media has, I believe, in my opinion, has really changed the game with advertising and I think I think Kevin Hart was one of the few to like really like go and separate his social media. Like I think he got into like some argument with Sony because he refused to post about the movie unless they paid
because
that's his personal thing.
Yeah, that's promotion.
If you want into it, you need to pay for that. And
see, when you're at that level, when you're Kevin Hart and you can say, "I've got a brand. If you want my brand to represent your brand, then give me some money." Which is, cool. Good for him. I respect anyone who can do that.
Also, it's also helped with, I think, because back in the day, cameras were so expensive where only the richest of the rich could buy a camera and shoot their own stuff. But now they're becoming more inexpensive. You have students making their own films. Like I have my own mini YouTube series I'm writing. And writing is so hard. Like I think I was originally wanted to write a 10-part miniseries, wrote the third part of the script, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm cutting this down to 5. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, it's when you start making those noises, then you're like, yeah, this is a struggle. Yeah, I'm writing a play at the moment, actually. I'm 30 pages in.
Ooh.
And yeah, I actually was having a chat with one of my coaches about this yesterday. Because sometimes you want it so badly to be done that you just kind of don't want to actually do the thing. Just like, I just want it to be done. I want it to be beautiful. And you're like, just sit down and go through the mud. Just sit down and write out the things that don't work. And then you get to some things that will. And then, after that, you piece them together. And it will come together eventually. It actually will. But you have to go through that phase of like, that doesn't work. What else? So it's...
I actually have sorry for cutting you off.
No.
Sorry, I just have a 2-part question I really want to ask, and I think everyone out there would be interested to know. First of all, what got you into acting? Like, what was that thing that made you want to acting? And the second part to that is, what were the first steps you took towards that?
Right. Okay. Cool. That's my life story, basically.
Yeah.
So I wasn't supposed to become an actor. I was raised by Jehovah's Witnesses back home in Eastern Europe. And they were Eastern European Jehovah's Witnesses, so not the, the global church. But yeah, so they were very much against anything that included arts or performing or things like that. So I was supposed to become a software engineer. That was the plan. That's where the money is. You got to become an engineer. You're going to do software because good money, good life. My parents wanted a good life for me. And I'm in final year of high school, final summer holidays, and I'm looking at was it personal statements? I think was it personal not character. I think personal statements, the cover letters that you have to write to unis.
Yeah, personal statements.
And I'm looking at this. I'm just looking at the engineers. And I already had an idea that I want to go abroad. I want to go to Scotland maybe because at that time, as a European student, you could get free higher education. I had the grades. I was like, let me see the world. So I'm looking at these personal statements, and I'm like, I got nothing in common with these people. Like, I've always cared about how things work. And I'm like, yeah, they're kind of cool, but I just want them to work. I want to enjoy life, experience stuff, not put stuff together. And so, that kind of gave me a identity crisis. And what should I do? Where should I go? Thinking about, what I enjoyed doing. Then there's this girl that I like.
Yeah.
And she's doing acting at a youth theater group, right? And exactly. So I already figured I want to try, the acting stuff. But then she was at this youth theater group. So I was like, well, I'm just going to sign up and see what happens. Nothing happened, by the way, but it was a good decision. So for the first month or so, I was going to do physics with my classmate to get ready for our final exams while my dad was at home. But after that, he went abroad to work, and that was my dad and me, only the two of us. So that gave me all the liberty to do whatever I wanted. So I would just go on acting with this youth theater group. And that final year of high school, when you realize you don't want to become an engineer, but you're studying maths and IT. Oh, man. I mean, that was the pain. I was like, I'm wasting my life. So
and I do know those struggles. Like I always tell people, I originally studied towards accounting.
Oh God!
And I was like, this shit is boring.
Like, no disrespect to accountants.
No disrespect.
Listen, that is a
hard job.
Shout
out.
Useful job. And it's
I definitely went wrong about it. I went straight into trying to get an ACCA degree before I even got an accounting. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
If you're an accountant, you know what I'm talking about.
Honest way to make a living. Nothing wrong with it. Not for me. Not for him. That's it.
But would you? I gotta ask, and be honest with this one.
Right.
Would you advise people to get into acting? And I'm talking like genuinely, not like one of those where like you're like no because you don't want the competition and blah blah blah. But like genuinely, would you advise? Has it improved your life in any way?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, so if I would advise people to get into it, it really depends why they want to get into it. So if you want to get into it for a hobby, cool, do that. It's great fun. You learn a lot about people, yourself, a bit of empathy. Doesn't hurt anybody. If you want to get into the industry side of things, or you just become a professional, then you got to ask yourself why you want to do it. Because if you want to do it for the glitz and glamour and the money, then, go do a reality TV show. Sorry, but there's probably you're more likely to get it done that way than doing acting. If you actually enjoy the process and you love performing and just expressing yourself is a thing you want to do, then go for it. Because if you're not doing it, it's probably going to eat away at you for the rest of your life. That's how I feel, because every time I don't have a plan or a project in mind that I want to work towards in the arts. Yeah. I'm kind of just like, I got to do something. I'm restless. Like, I need this.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. So I think, you need to figure out, is this something you really genuinely want? And I don't think you can just fall into it. Some people get the bug. I've read a lot of actors, stories just to see what's out there. And there's a lot of, I tried it, I got the bug, and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah. So do it if you really love it, and if you feel like you meant to do it, then go for it. Yeah. If not, try it out. I'm not gonna tell anyone not to try it out. You don't have to love it. If you enjoy it and you start making money out of it, good for you. Keep doing you. Yeah. But like the way I knew that I wanted to do this for a living for the rest of my life, or at least try to anyway, is one of my coaches from the youth theater group back home in Romania. One night he took me to the National Theater, just him and me in this massive empty theater. He takes me on stage. I'm working on this monologue, Shakespeare's Iago monologue, and the first Iago monologue from the play. And he's like, okay, go, do your monologue, do your thing. And I go for it once. He's like, nah, you can do better. I don't feel that. I do a second time. I do it a third time. On, I think, third or fourth try, I run off stage. I go to him because he's sitting, in the stands. I grab him. I'm like literally not shouting the monologue into his face, but I'm going at him. And I do it, and I just get this. That rush. And the moment I got that rush, I just felt this confirmation, like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah. And then, another time the first time I did stand-up in Glasgow back in 2014. Again, I'm up on stage. I'm just trying to do stuff. I'm funny-ish. I'm like, first time, come on, give me a chance. Yeah. But again, I just had this feeling throughout the whole performance, even though I wasn't doing great, that, this is it. I need to be doing this. I'm meant to be doing this. So,
Nice. Let me actually just let people know how we actually met each other. I completely forgot to tell you guys that. Obviously, I do Deliveroo, and he works at one of the restaurants that I pick up from. And I remember...
Any non-specific restaurant, because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah. We started to get in chatting. I forgot how we got into like talking about what he does for a living. I think I asked him what he did, and he told me...
We interacted.
Yeah. And then I remember telling, because I love doing photography, still have a passion for it, which I now, after he's pointing away, I'm pretty sure I still owe him 3 headshots or something like that.
No, we were talking about photography. We were talking because I was something about pictures, and I dabble. I'm an amateur, but I have a little lens with my phone camera. So I enjoy pictures. I enjoy, seeing the beauty in life and all that stuff. And we got talking about cameras, and then that's where, what do you do? What you study is all cool, and then setting up a studio.
Yeah, for sure. I do owe him 3 headshots, and I do have to kind of...
It doesn't owe me.
Live up to that promise soon. No, but that's how I met him, and then that's when I realized that he was like a legit actor, because I saw he's... BBC.
I'm a legit actor-waiter, let's be honest. I'm an actor-waiter at the moment.
No, but... I ain't gonna lie, man. Actually, we won't talk about the money side of acting, because everyone knows, like, there is money in it and blah, blah, blah. You guys...
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. But even with, like, the whole background acting work, like, I think I got, like, 100 quid to walk up and down the street for, like, 8 hours, like...
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very different theater versus TV, film, commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not allowed to go into specifics because some of those are NDAs and stuff.
Yeah.
The money is just different. Film, TV, commercials. It's like mind-blowing money for like a day's work.
Yeah.
It's like around the one thing, non-specific, around £7,000 for a day's work, day and a half's work, and you're like,
that's crazy.
That's months. That's months in the restaurant.
100%.
That's 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe not 6 months. 4 months and a half, 5 months. But yeah, that's some money.
Yeah, that is some bank. What are you allowed to talk about what the process of an audition is like?
Yeah. I'm not gonna, some things are NDA'd and stuff like that. But in general, I mean, my first TV gig was kind of interesting because I had one picture up on Spotlight, which is, the online portfolio where all the actors are. Yeah. And if not there, I'll try to be there because it is the biggest one and most casting directors use it. So it helps. But also shout out to V-Show Cards. They do their own thing as well. So there's a couple of alternatives. But the big one still is Spotlight. And I had one picture up from 2017. And this is 2019. I get an email from Spotlight. Actually, I got a text from Spotlight. Yeah. Check your emails. Yeah. I go check my email. It's like, this casting director would like to interact, would like to message you. Are you interested? Should we give them your details? I was like, yeah. And it's like, the email was a basic, hi, Sylas, we're looking for a character, some vague breakdown of who this is. Would you be interested in auditioning? I was like, duh. It's like for a BBC show. Well, yes, please, thank you.
Cool.
And I'm looking at the script, and the guy originally was supposed to be in his 40s. Yeah. And I might look old, but I don't, I'm East European, but I'm not that East European. Like, come on. And so I was like, well, I guess here goes nothing. Yeah. Let me try it. Do a self-tape first. Send that in. They call me back saying, okay, we would like to come in to do the audition in person. Cool. I go in. We do a read. Very lovely. Great vibe. That was a bit weird for me because that was my first time I got to like a recall. Yeah. So there was that, oh my God. So my whole time I'm in there, luckily I met Tom Ury, who's another actor in the show, who's very lovely. I mean, I served him a couple of times in the restaurant. So, he's very cool. Yeah. So that kind of chilled me out a little bit. But then I was just thinking of every single actor story that I read, about auditioning. And I was like, Leo DiCaprio was probably, scaring, I don't want to swear right now, but he was.
You can swear if you
want. He was shitting himself at some point, okay? Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is normal. This is where I'm supposed to be. Do the audition, get out. And in my head, because a part of me really wants it really badly, I always counterbalance it with a heavy dose of, you're probably not going to get it. Numbers, the numbers are probably not. So I just temper myself that way. So I get the phone call and he's like, hi, Sylas, about a week later. We'd just like to say, I was like, here it goes. We'd like to offer you the part. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I'm pretty sure I hung up the phone and ran out the flat a couple of times. Just, yes.
Oh, that's it, man. I actually got another question as well. Actors, it seems like it's such a cutthroat business, but at the same time, there's like a community always looking out for each other. And like, how does that work?
Yeah. So there's definitely genuine people because all of us are in the same boat of we do our best. We try to do our best and then people pick. Yeah. So we all understand that sort of struggle and the anxiety that comes with it and the ups and downs and sometimes a slight depression because it does come after, if you've been doing this for a couple of years, nothing's coming your way, you kind of go, what's going on? Yeah. So there's definitely genuine people, loads of them. I think probably the vast majority of them that are into it for this. At the same time, this is my experience. Sometimes I feel like there's a bit of forced positivity, and this might be only on Twitter, but, there's a lot of, oh, this is really good and good for you, and I'm looking at the footage, and it might be my own footage, and I'm like, come on, it's good, it's nice, it's not great, it's not fantastic. Or I did a couple of workshops where it's all the comments are positive. No one's even slightly, critical of like, really cool, try it maybe this way, see what happens. Like, it was just, oh, I'm loving this moment, I'm really feeling that, and I'm like, are we watching the same tapes? Yeah. Because if everything's positive, then you can't trust any of it. Because now, if I see you giving a fake compliment to somebody else, I don't know if your compliment that you gave to me is valid.
Fair shit. Yeah, that's for real, man. That is definitely for real.
So there is definitely, a community, and there's loads of good people. There's Nathan Masterson. If I just butchered his name, I'm gonna feel really bad. But he's a cool dude that I've been interacting with on Twitter, and he's been lovely, and we have a little back and forth going on. So there's loads of people out there, and you just have to, keep an eye out and just try to read people, I guess. But overall, there's a community. There's definitely a sense of we're trying to do this. There's a union.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be interesting.
How do you actually get on Spotlight as well? Like,
Spotlights, that is a real challenge. I was lucky because I did a course with Acting Code Scotland, shout out. And because they were already accredited by Spotlight as a student, you would get on. Yeah. But I think if not, then you have to have like 4 professional credits, 3 or 4, and they're very picky. So they won't pick any student film. It has to have a run at the festivals. You have to have professional credits. You have to work to get work.
It can be a student film as long as it's gone to like a festival.
Yeah. So, it can be a student film. It has to have had distribution at festivals. So that is tough. Especially, again, I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 19.
Yeah.
So when I looked at Spotlight, I was like, 4 professional credits. Yeah. Where do I begin? Who's going to give me professional credits?
True.
So, that's probably your best way is doing your own work, finding other people that want to create work, have a go at festivals, and build it up that way. Or theater. Probably theater might be even more.
That is like, with acting, like people who don't even realize how hard it is to really get a job. Like a lot of people can like watch a movie and be like, I could do that. Like let me put it this way. There's probably, obviously I work television production, so I'm more behind the scenes. I'm crew. There's probably, for every 1 actor hired, there's probably 30 to 40 crew hired.
Yeah. I mean, there's
so for every actor who gets hired on a job, you might have 30 or 40 crew, and that's split in between hair, makeup, catering, camera, lighting, sound, or whatever.
Well, they call it a village for a reason. You don't have an actor village. You got a film village, not actor village.
Yeah. It is insane, and I know how hard it is just for me to get through. And man, honestly, like legit, that is like madness for real.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of filters, and that's the up and down of the whole audition process, where you get an audition that's already like, oh my God, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Then you get a recall, like, damn, this is actually happening. I can't believe it. Then you had the recall, let's say. Then you have to wait on the producers, directors, and probably the casting director likes you because they got you in and they got you back for the recall. But they have to make their own decisions, financial or otherwise, about who they got to cast. You still need to wait on that. And then when you finally get the offer, then when you go, yes, okay, we locked this in. Even then, you got the offer, it's all going well. COVID happens. Yeah. Production gets suspended for for a certain amount of time. Yeah. Then, if you're lucky enough, something happens like a scheduling conflict, and now you just lost a good role because you already had another schedule, another thing scheduled there. Or, there's a lot of things that can happen. So people do count their lucky stars when they actually get on set and like, I'm actually here. There's people around me.
Yeah, COVID does really like mess with a lot of things. Yeah. Like you stayed active though.
I did.
Your little review show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of it.
WTF movies.
Yeah. How did that come about?
That was me being restless.
Yeah.
That was me. So, let me think about
I have noticed that, like, when actors get restless, they do, like, a lot of... but like, I remember do you remember when Gal Gadot and all her friends were...
Oh, God. Oh, bless him. That was cringe.
And it's a song about...
Imagine other people.
Yeah,
imagine there's no heaven.
Yeah, imagine there's no heaven. And, like, this is during COVID where, like, kids are watching their grandparents, like, maybe pass away or something.
I hope... Well, first, I hope I get to that level of that level of success. At the same time, I hope I don't get disconnected enough to be like, let me just sing this song and cheer people up while relatives of theirs are dying. Because
I mean, you can kind of see she didn't mean anything.
Yeah, she good intentions, but a song, like, how much do you think people love you that a song is gonna be like, oh my God, that's it. Whew, I feel better now.
Yeah, I remember there was like some stuff that happened back in the day, and they were asking about Ja Rule, like an old artist.
I mean, I know Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, and he was
quick, somebody find out what Ja Rule thinks.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally the one that I could not stop laughing. Who the fuck gives a shit about what Ja Rule thinks now? Oh, it is honestly,
He did a film with Steven Seagal.
Who, Ja Rule?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steven Seagal is like a different kind of different beast of a human, to be honest, man. Wow.
Oh man, that was. I think it's just growing up, and as a teenager, like, oh, he's really cool. He's like a badass, and then time passes, and you're like, what's wrong with Steven Seagal?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on? And now you're like, oh, that's just Steven Seagal. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. I got asked. I said this, I think, in my last podcast. I'm not too sure, but Christian Bale's freak out.
Yeah.
Well, do you, as an actor, because we're on the outside looking in, it looks crazy, but
It does.
for an actor, it could just be like, nah, that's perfectly normal.
Right. So there's a lot of layers to that,
Yeah.
right? Because let's start with the obvious. He's a star. When you're a star, you're treated in a certain way. Sometimes when everybody stares at you like you're the shit, you start thinking you're the shit.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon talks about this, that when he got to stardom, everybody, the way people treated him changed. But he's like, but the world hasn't changed. The things that were important yesterday are still important today, you know. But it's very easy to get lost in this. I mean, Justin Bieber, we made Justin Bieber who he is by just going, oh my God, he's the best.
Yeah.
You know, like, surprise he had a bit of a dickish phase in his life.
Yeah.
Surprise?
Surprise, yeah.
But so you got to take that into consideration. You know, preferably he shouldn't be that way. Does it happen? You know, it is a whole environment. Yes. Yeah. Also, he's the lead.
Yeah.
That's a pressure. Again, takes after takes. You know, if he's a producer on the film as well, then, you know, then you got Tom Cruise shouting at people to put their mask on, you know. So you got different pressures on you, and you're very aware of them. When you got a studio going, dude, we're losing money now. We need a bit more action. You got a schedule. You should be on this, you know, this scene already or whatever. And you're like, okay, so I get that. At the same time, what did the guy do? I mean, you don't have to shout his head off. But I understand that feeling of, again, with the pressure. Plus, he's working on this scene. I don't know how difficult the scene is. I just remember hearing some of the shouting, and I was like, okay, he's going off. Yeah. But I don't remember the specifics. But if it's like a very difficult, emotional scene, and also you got this baggage, which is a weird thing, which not a lot of people talk about, I guess, is acting comes with obviously taking on other people's emotional baggage. And it's like, you know, you're in this imaginary world, and you understand that this character who's got some sorts of problem, sometimes it bleeds into your real life. Like that is a real thing, the bleed-in effect. Yeah. I've read about it. Happens with people that do LARPing. Sometimes they get lost for a split second, but it does weigh on you. A little bit. So if you're playing someone who's already, you know, cranky and ready to go and have arguments all day, if you're Tony Soprano, basically, and you're shouting at everybody through the whole episode, let me tell you something, you know, if you're that guy, you're this close to cracking already, because you're walking around all day with that energy. And, you know, a lot of actors talk about that. Cillian Murphy talks about, you know, playing Tommy Shelby was difficult on him mentally because you're walking around tight, and you have to carry that tension. That's so acting seems very magical, but a lot of it is just, I treat myself and other people the way this character treats themselves and other people.
That's fair enough. It's
so
sticking to character. So I kind of do see where he's coming from, innit?
So now there's layers.
So one question before we go, because we're again coming up to that 30-minute drop. I told you it goes pretty fast. Quick question: what, in your opinion, what is the movie with the greatest acting you've seen?
Greatest acting. Oof. I always dread this question because, like, pick one film. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman's work. Viola Davis in Fences. Everybody, I don't know if everybody, but there's that one moment when she breaks down and it's nothing and crying. I've been standing here with you. It's like, oh.
That is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, she is.
Big shout out to Viola Davis and whatnot. Obviously, thank you again for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Happy to be here, absolutely.
Definitely going to do a part 2. He might give us a few acting tips as well in it and whatnot.
Let me give away my secrets.
I'm going to leave everything, all his socials in the description. Make sure you hit him out. You got any project coming out, or apart from starring in my YouTube miniseries?
This is a project. Let's be honest. This is a project. What have I was going on? I've got some social media stuff. I'm writing a play at the moment. I'm doing stand-up next week, actually. 23rd. Catch me at the Salsa Bar. Oh, we're back on.
Yeah, we're back on. We're back on. Sorry about that. It's called the 30-minute special because it just stopped recording after 30 minutes. But
use your disadvantages.
where did we stop off? Oh, your project, future projects.
Yeah, future
what do you
projects.
have on?
So yeah, I'm writing a play at the moment. I've got a second one in, sort of planned out. I'm doing stand-up next week. Again, I don't know when this is coming out. 23rd of March. Catch me at Salsa Bar in Merchant City, and then in the Panopticon on the 26th. So that's my re-debut in stand-up after like 7 years. Let's go. And I've got a short film I'm trying to produce at the moment. So I've got a couple of things, nothing specifically tied down in that sense. But yeah.
Do I have an acting role in that? Yeah.
Potentially.
Oh, that's a no.
No, actually, no. Potentially. You know what?
I can't act to save my life, man.
Can you be an extra?
Oh, for sure, man. Man, you should see my walk, man. I got that background on lock.
He's got the Denzel ones, you know what I mean?
That's it, man. Again, I really do appreciate you coming through. For sure, got to do that part 2.
I appreciate being here, man.
Thank you. He actually got a flat tire on the way here. I kind of feel bad.
Don't.
Kind of feel a little bad. It's going to be... I'm going to hear about it after... I'm going to have to buy him a new tire and everything, watch. Guarantee. He's going to expense it to me. No, appreciate it. Good luck with all the projects. This time next year, hope to see you at the Oscars and whatnot,
I mean, never say never.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be doing me. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more stand-up. I'm writing my own stuff. I want to do some theater work. Just my own little projects. So, yeah. I'll be active. I'll be here, hopefully.
That's what's up, man. Anyway, catch you guys in the next one.
Stay safe.